ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here is a list of important qualities which are very essential in devotional service, like Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, Maunam. All these qualities are required to be developed as we progress in our devotional life. In fact, our progress in spiritual life is proportional to the qualities, the spiritual important qualities we develop. Spiritual progress is not proportional to the number of years we have spent in Krishna consciousness. It is with the intensity with which we have practiced our devotional life that we will manifest these important qualities. And at the same time, there is something which can destroy all these qualities from the root. In one shot, that is what is being mentioned here. So you can imagine how important it is. Years together of practice in Krishna consciousness, whatever different qualities we have developed can be uprooted if we commit certain mistakes. And that is what we saw in the last verse. That if we lead our life in unrighteous way, that is taking shelter of adharma, leading our life not according to the scriptures, that means dishonest life. If we lead, how? Being inspired by association with a materialistic man. If we associate with a person who is addicted to satisfy his genitals and palate, there is no doubt all these qualities will be finished. So let us see what all qualities which are very important. They are vanquished by this bad association, asat sanga. Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, Maunam, Buddhihi, Shrir, Hrir, Yashaha, Shama, Shamo, Damo, Bhagaschaiva, Yat Sankshat yati sanshayam. Yat sangat means if we associate with those people who are too addicted to sensual enjoyment, yati sanshayam, all these qualities will be destroyed. Sanshayam means they will be finished, destroyed. And you see the beauty how Prabhupada explains these qualities in a sequence. Very interesting. How Prabhupada explains them one by one. So first of all, we see the quality of Satyam. Satyam refers, Prabhupada explains elsewhere, to both. One is to speak truthfully like a Brahmana. Prabhupada gives the example, even if an enemy comes, a Brahmana will not speak a lie. So actually it's a very big disqualification if we are initiated as a Brahmana and left and right we are speaking lies. Speaking lies for the sake of the Supreme Lord is different. Just like we see the example of Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. They spoke certain lies in order to escape. For what reason? To engage themselves in the service of the Supreme Lord. And they spoke lies to some materialistic people. Otherwise, taking shelter of untruthfulness is not a quality of a Brahmana. So we should check ourselves. And another important meaning of Satyam, Prabhupada explains, is actually absolute truth. Devotees are called Sattvatas because their goal of life is Satyam, the supreme absolute truth. They are behind absolute truth. So Prabhupada is explaining, those who are too addicted to sex life cannot understand the purpose of the absolute truth. So you will find this actually, those who are too much sexually inclined, they are not interested in spiritual life, because these are completely opposite to each other. If we are addicted to sensual enjoyment, then you are not progressing in spiritual life. You cannot understand. It will destroy all our memory, even our concentration, ability to control our senses. Practically everything is destroyed by this uncontrolled sensual enjoyment. So these people are not inclined towards absolute truth. Nor can they be clean in their habits. So next is Shaucham. Anyone who is actually inclined towards absolute truth understands that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely pure. And he does not associate with anything impure. So devotee externally and internally wants to purify himself. Externally he follows the principles of Shaucham by taking regular bath as mentioned in the scriptures. After certain activities like clearing our stomach, one has to take bath. Otherwise, we remain muchi, unclean. And in unclean state, actually, one cannot worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, externally also, and internally by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Yasmaret pundarikaksham sabahya abhyantara shuchihi. So, most important is to remember the Supreme Lord. Externally, you may keep yourself clean, but internally, if you don't remember the Supreme Lord, it is of no use. But we should not take misadvantage thinking that internally I am clean, so I don't require external cleanliness. That way it does not happen. That is only reserved for very, very advanced devotees like Madhavendra Puri, who said, my 3 times ablution and bath goodbye. We cannot say, isn't it? So we are not on the level of Madhavendra Puri. We are not on the level of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, that we can sit near municipal lavatory and we can chant the holy name of the Lord. Isn't it? We will become impure. So, external and internal cleanliness is both important. So here you can see how it is connected. Those who are not after absolute truth, they cannot keep themselves internally and externally clean. So there is no question of cleanliness in them. Just like eating meat, drinking liquor, these are unclean habits. Externally he may look like very clean man, isn't it? But he is actually very unclean. So this is second thing. Not to mention showing mercy to others, daya. So anyone, just like Prabhupada gives an example, recently, of course this is, somebody sent a WhatsApp message in our TP conference. Recently in, I think it is in Mumbai, that Taj Hotel, which is run by Tata. So, he is considered to be a pet lover, animal lover. So, one woman has put on her Instagram or some Facebook some post showing one dog in 5-star hotel lying without any fear and nobody is chasing. So then she went and asked the security how this dog is, 5-star hotel this is, and the dog is lying here like this. So the security said that this is a message from our chairman that animals should be shown mercy. So the devotee is mentioning that in that 5-star hotel, there is also a non-vegetarian restaurant where no mercy is shown to the animals. So this is called hypocrisy, isn't it? You are showing mercy to the dog and you are cutting the goat or you are cutting cows and feeding people. So actually there is no mercy. Harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena dhavato bahi. All these qualities, they are only their mental speculation. No real quality. Real good qualities can manifest only when one has become a devotee of the Supreme Lord. And if good qualities have manifested, that is the test that yes, you have advanced in devotional service. And if these Sura qualities are not getting manifest, that means we are lacking. We are lacking in our sadhana, we are lacking in our devotional practices. We should understand. So Prabhupada is saying, no question of showing mercy to others. Then, Maunam, they cannot remain grave. It is said, the Supreme Lord, His gravity, everything about the Supreme Lord is as deep as ocean. It's like the ocean. You cannot find the depth of the ocean. In fact, great devotees have said, explaining the qualities of the Supreme Lord is just like when we are trying to explain the qualities of the Supreme Lord. It is just like taking one drop from that ocean. Ocean is so vast. It is so deep. You cannot fathom the depth of the ocean. Similarly, the Supreme Lord and His great devotees are very grave. Grave means you cannot understand their mind. Cannot understand. Not frivolous. So that is called as gravity, maunam. So they cannot remain grave. And they have no interest in the ultimate goal of life. So, buddhihi, they have their intelligence, good intelligence, Prabhupada says. Even that is spiritual intelligence. Prabhupada is translating that as spiritual intelligence. Because it is with spiritual intelligence that one can understand the absolute truth. So, even that becomes lost. You will find sometimes people are very sharp materially, and sometimes we wonder, oh, he's such an intelligent man, but why they do not take to Krishna consciousness? Isn't it? Sometimes you will wonder. Because their real intelligence is taken away. Real intelligence is spiritual intelligence. That is taken away. Then, so Prabhupada is explaining what is the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is Krishna or Vishnu. But those who are addicted to sex life cannot understand that their ultimate interest is Krishna consciousness. And then Prabhupada is explaining how they lose even finer qualities, very fine qualities also. After buddhi it comes Shri and Hri. So, they have no sense of decency. Shyness is one of the qualities in a devotee. But this decent behavior, even shyness is lost. Just like even in married life, you will not find a devotee walking hand in hand with his wife. If devotee is walking outside in the society, he is careful. He is decent in his behavior. Whereas you will not find, you will find people, they will catch husband and wife catching hand and walking. Isn't it? So all these are very undecent behavior. No decency is left. And Prabhupada is saying, in Western countries, it's all lost completely. And slowly, India is also catching up. You'll find that. People sitting in the garden, very undecent behavior. Isn't it? So slowly you can find. Western influence, Vedic culture is getting lost. So these are all qualities which are very important. Prabhupada says that very long back, Kaschit, the example is given, sometime that one Brahmana who was living Ajamila, he saw one unfortunate scene. And Prabhupada explains that such scenes were not very common. Today you can see it's very common. Gentleman cannot walk, cannot sit in a train properly, cannot sit in the bus. You'll find right in front seat of you, boy and girl kissing each other or so many things. Decency is completely lost. So this shyness is another important quality. So Prabhupada is saying here, such people have no sense of decency. Even in public streets or public park, they embrace each other like cats and dogs and pass it in the name of love making. Isn't it? Then Prabhupada is connecting this, that because of this kind of losing these finer qualities, they can never be fortunate in their life to attain opulence in their life. They cannot attain opulence in their life. So Prabhupada is saying here, such unfortunate creature can never become materially prosperous. Behavior like that of cats and dogs keeps them in the position of cats and dogs. Because they are behaving like cats and dogs, so they even materially remain on that level. They will not be even materially prosperous. They remain at that level. They cannot improve any material condition, not to speak of becoming famous. So, if they are not fortunate and have good opulence, everything, where is the question of becoming famous? So, they will not become even famous. Yashaha. Such foolish persons may even make a show of so-called yoga, but they are unable to control the senses and mind. Shama, Dama. So Prabhupada is saying, such polished so-called people who are addicted to sinful life, sensual enjoyment, behaving like cats and dogs, they may sometime even in a show bottle form, they will show that they are also spiritualist. They also practice yoga. But they will be addicted to all these different kinds of sensual behaviors. Because real yoga means Shama, Dama. They cannot control their mind, they cannot control their senses. So they are unable to control mind and senses, which is the real purpose of yoga practice. Such people can have no opulence in their life, bhaga. So no fortunate, that means, in other words, they are very unfortunate. So this is their life. So actually, in Krishna consciousness, we have to be very careful about this, that certain things can destroy the roots of my spiritual life. These qualities are very important. So we should be very careful not to associate, not to make friendship with such kind of people. Always remember Rupa Goswami's principle, anasaktasya vishaya. Objects of sense enjoyment are called vishaya. Do not be attached to them. Anasaktasya, remain unattached to them. Yatharam upayunjata. Utilize them as much it is required, not more than that. Similarly, we should associate with such materialistic people only to the point it is required to preach Krishna consciousness. Not more than that. Going for their birthday parties, they invite us for their birthdays, and then we go and eat food cooked by them, associate with them, their mentality they share, and we also become victim to that. We do not understand all these things. So devotee has no such social life. He does not want to go and participate in birthdays of some karmis and all. If required, he may go and do kirtan and come back. Give them some prasadam. Not to participate in their whole program and get slowly contaminated by all those things. This is very essential for a devotee. Isn't it? So, Prabhupada quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam that if we see in the life of Ajamila, all his good qualities were finished. Bhagavatam describes he was a Brahmana. He had all the qualities. He was practicing brahmacharya. He had good qualities of satyam, shaucham, all these things. But later it says, because of his bad association, nashta sadachara. We follow sadachara. These 4 regulative principles Prabhupada says is our sadachara. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. But we will lose all these qualities. So very important. Brahmachari, it is said, should not even think even of enjoying a woman, even in his mind. Even in his mind he should not think. Otherwise it's not a proper brahmacharya. Prabhupada quotes that. Sarvada, in all circumstances, maithuna tyaga, when one gives up in all conditions, either in his body, in his words, or in his mind, or physically, when one gives up, that is called brahmacharya. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict. I will read one passage from Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never criticized a grahastha who was leading his life according to Vedic scriptures. Because Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, dharma aviruddho kamosmi. Krishna is saying that is me. So kama that is utilized for procreating a child, good child, that Krishna is saying is me. That is not against dharmic principles. But otherwise, if somebody is indulging in all these things, actually Krishna and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was so strict. He never liked devotees who were hypocrites. If one is in brahmacharya, he should practice brahmacharya. At least sensibly, he should practice. Mistakes may be there, fall downs will be there, that does not matter. Prabhupada says, child will keep on falling down and one day he will learn. But not be a hypocrite. You see, that is very important. To maintain dress of a brahmachari in saffron and doing all this nonsense is a great hypocrisy. Sometimes you find, and when they are asked, no, better at least you change to white, they are reluctant. Sometimes they leave Krishna consciousness and go. Cannot give a brahmachari dress also. Because they want that respect. They know, who respects this white dress somebody is wearing? Nobody will bother. So imagine what kind of hypocrisy. Cannot give up mingling with women, but does not want to give up his saffron dress also. This is height of hypocrisy. This is not good. As I said, in Krishna consciousness, Maya is strong. We are very weak, there is no doubt. Until and unless you catch lotus feet of the Lord very tightly, fall down will be there. But one should not be a hypocrite. That is very essential. So I'll read one passage. It's very interesting. If we wish to become fully Krishna conscious, we have to give up the shackles of Maya. Or, if we remain with Maya, we should live in such a way we will not be subject to illusion. As did the many householder among Lord Chaitanya's closest devotees. So Prabhupada is saying, in Grahastha life there are many objects of Maya. Family is there, house is there, so many things are there. Isn't it? For a brahmachari all these things are not there. So even if one has to live, he should live like many of the devotees who lived their life with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That they were not subject to illusion of this Maya. With his followers in the renounced order, however, Lord Chaitanya was very strict. He even banished Junior Haridas, an important Kirtan leader, for glancing lustfully at a woman. The Lord told him, "You are living with me in the renounced order, and yet you are looking at a woman with lust." Just looking at, he did not go and associate with any woman. He just went to beg some rice. And while begging rice, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand that he looked lustfully at the woman. And when Bhagwan Acharya told, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, who cooked this very fine rice? So he praised and he said, who got this fine rice? So then Bhagwan Acharya said, it is Junior Haridas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave that order. From tomorrow, Junior Haridas cannot come here. Do not allow him to meet me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu banished him. And later on, Junior Haridas committed suicide. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, this is good for him. Even then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not say anything. He said, yes, for such a debauchee, it is better. You see. So, Prabhupada explains this. He even banished Junior Haridas, an important Kirtan leader, for glancing lustfully at a woman. The Lord told him, you are living with me in the renounced order, and yet you are looking at a woman with lust. Other devotees of the Lord had appealed to him to forgive Haridas, but he replied, all of you can forgive him and live with him. I shall live alone. He said, okay, you want to forgive him? Forgive him. You live with him. I will live alone. So all of you also do not come from tomorrow if you want, he said. On the other hand, when the Lord learned the wife of one of his householder devotee was pregnant, he asked that the baby be given a certain auspicious name. So while the Lord approved of a householder having regulated sex, he was like a thunderbolt with those in the renounced order who tried to cheat by the method known as drinking water underwater while bathing on a fast day. In other words, he tolerated no hypocrisy among his followers. So this is very important. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives some very important instruction. Why he banished Junior Haridas? What was the reason? So I'll just read few of those verses. Then we'll stop, maybe another 2-3 minutes. Haridas fasted continuously for 3 days. Then Swarup Damodar Goswami and other confidential devotees approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to inquire from him, what great offense has Junior Haridas committed? Why has he been forbidden to come to your door? He has now been fasting for 3 days. Lord replied, I cannot tolerate seeing the face of a person who has accepted the renounced order of life, but who still talks intimately with a woman. You see, talking is different. Talking intimately with a woman is different. This is very essential. As a preacher, we cannot shy away. It is not practical, brahmachari or a sannyasi saying, I cannot see a woman. That is not possible. That is another extreme of attachment. If woman is coming and somebody turns his face and walks away, that is another extreme that is a negative kind of attachment. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying here, it is the intimate talks with a woman, that is which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu objected to. So then he is saying, so strongly do the senses adhere to the objects of their enjoyment. Indeed, a woman's statue of a woman attracts the mind of even a great saintly person. Can you just imagine? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, where is the question of talking intimately to a woman, even a great saintly person? His mind can become attached to even a wooden doll of a woman. He has to be careful, isn't it? Indeed, a wooden statue of a woman attracts the mind of even a great saintly person. One should not sit closely with one's mother, sister, or daughter, for the senses are so strong, may attract even a person advanced in knowledge. So, everyone who is in Krishna consciousness, he has to be very careful that actually in secluded place, even sitting with one's own mother or daughter, it is forbidden because the senses are so strong. It is said. See. Then there are many persons with little in their possession who accept the renounced order of life like monkeys. They go here and there, engaging in sense gratification and speaking intimately with women. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the example that such kind of people, actually there is no real renunciation. For the namesake they renounce, but they are like monkeys. Externally they have renounced. Otherwise, they go on here and there intimately speaking with women. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered his room. Seeing him in such an angry mood, all the devotees fell silent. After that, none of them dared even to say one word about Junior Haridas to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such was the strictness of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have to be very careful, otherwise all these finer good qualities, whatever we have acquired in our Krishna consciousness, will be lost. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।